जय कुंज विहारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन।
जमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
जय जय प्रभुपाद।
जय जय
जय
प्रभुपाद।
जय गुरुदेव
जय
गुरुदेव।
जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव।
जय जय श्री राधा माधव भगवान की जय। जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह भगवान की जय। गौर
जय
निताई की जय। जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। पतित पावन श्रीपाद महाराज की जय। ओम
जय।
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम 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 नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
ततो जयमुदीरये।
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी।
भवती नैष्ठिकी।
Hare Krishna. So today we are going to study from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 1, text 13 to 16. Please scroll down. Atre. Oh, slower. I will open in my. 7:1:30. अत्रे विदो हरितः पूर्वम्
तत्रैवोदाहृतः पूर्वम्
इतिहासः सुरर्षिणा प्रीत्या
इतिहाससुरर्षिणा
महाक्रतौ राजन्
पित्यामहाक्रतौ राजन्
पृच्छते अजात शत्रवे.
पृच्छते जातशत्रवे.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Formerly, O king, when Maharaj Yudhishthir was performing the Rajasuya sacrifice, the great sage Narada, responding to his inquiry, recited historical facts showing how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always impartial, even while killing demons. In this regard, he gave a vivid example. Purport: this relates to how the Lord exhibited his impartiality even when killing Shishupal in the arena of the Rajasuya Yagya performed by Maharaj Yudhishthira. Next. 14-15. दृष्ट्वा महाद्भुतं राजा राजसूय महाकृतौ वासुदेवे भगवती सायुज्यं चेद्भुभुजः तत्रासीनं सुरऋषं राजा पाण्डुसुतः कृतौ पप्रच्छा विस्मितमना मुनीनां शृण्वताम् idam. Translation: O king, at the Rajasuya sacrifice, Maharaj Yudhishthir, the son of Maharaj Pandu, personally saw Shishupal merge into the body of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Therefore, struck with wonder, he inquired about the reason for this from the great sage Narad, who was seated there. While he inquired, all the sages present also heard him ask his question. Sri Yudhishthiruvāca Aho ati adbhutam hi etad durlabhay kanti namapi Vasudeve pare tattve praptischadyasya vidvishaha. Translation: Maharaj Yudhishthira inquired, "It is very wonderful that a demon, Shishupal, merged into the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even though extremely envious. This Sayuji Mukti is impossible to attain even for great transcendentalists. How then did the enemy of the Lord attain it?" Purport: there are two classes of transcendentalists, the Gyanis and the Bhaktas. The Bhaktas do not aspire to merge into the existence of the Lord, but the Gyanis do. So Shishupal, however, was neither a Gyani nor a Bhakta. Yet simply by envy of the Lord, he attained an exalted position by merging into the Lord's body. Certainly this was astonishing, and therefore Maharaj Yudhishthira inquired about the cause for the Lord's mysterious mercy to Shishupal. Jai. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjansalakya Chakshurunumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Swarupa Damodar Swaminiti Namine Nama Sadbhakta Manayaha Mani Purudva Vacha Prabhupala Sadvani Prachar Niritayate. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanand Shri Advait Gadadhar Srivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bowing down my head to all Maharajis present here, and then I'll request all Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, and then all audience to bless me so that I can share a little bit whatever I could gather about this extremely confidential pastime and the confidential and mysterious mercy on Shishupal by the Lord. So here it becomes very mysterious, and why does Lord do that? Why does Lord show mercy on Shishupal but does not show mercy on Vena, who was also very much criticizing Lord? So Maharaj Yudhishthira in the assembly, he was posing this question to Narad Muniji. Shishupal was a born enemy, not only in this life, in the previous lives also. As Hiranyakashyap, when he was born as Hiranyakashyap, so Lord killed him, but Lord did not grant him mukti because his meditation on the Lord was only instantaneous, and he was not, constantly absorbed in Lord's form. And then when he came as Ravan, again he was not very much absorbed in Lord's form as much as what he was when he came as Shishupal. And his brother Dantavakra, these two are the incarnations, or shall I say expansions of Jay and Vijay, who were apparently cursed by Sanat Kumaras to fall down. Their fall down is only superficial. They did not fall down. It was only to enhance the sweet will of pastime of Lord, where Lord could enjoy fighting and various other means so that he could come here and deliver his devotees. So they did not fall down. So this Jay and Vijay, as Shishupal and Dantavakra, they were like completely absorbed in Lord's, in contemplation on Lord. Continuously, it was continuous, right? Every moment they were filled with thoughts of, though negative thoughts about Lord. Veda, however, was having a very critical attitude towards Lord. So his enmity or his hostility, his aversion to Lord is just an aversion. It is not a continuous kind of bhav. Whereas these two, where Shishupal, he was continuously absorbed in that aversion. That's the idea, continuous absorption. So that's why he was performing no less than a sadhana. In fact, Acharyas are saying that it is even more than sadhana. It is not even Vaidhi Bhakti, it is more than Vaidhi Bhakti. Because in Vaidhi Bhakti there are rules and regulations, and the absorption is not continuous in Vaidhi Bhakti. The absorption is split and shared by a major portion of absorption goes in rules and regulation only. So the absorption in Vaidhi Bhakti is not a real absorption in the strictest sense. It is shared. It is hijacked by rules and regulations. So Shishupal, his absorption is absorption. He's having a bhav, enmity though. He's always thinking, when will Lord kill me? Lord will kill me. Because as we know that he was born with some extra hands and an extra eye and an Akashvani. Akashvani told that on whosoever laps, he loses his extra arms and the extra eye, that very person will kill him. So it was Krishna only, and Krishna is related to Shishupal's mother, I guess. Shishupal mother is also one Bua of Krishna. So in this way, Shishupal is cousin of Krishna. So Krishna came there, and he took the baby in his hands, and immediately the eyes, extra eye was gone, and extra hands were also gone. So Krishna, Krishna was announced, proclaimed as the killer of Shishupal, and Shishupal was knowing it, that Krishna would kill me. So he was always thinking that Krishna would kill me, Krishna would kill me. So he developed a bhai and an enmity also. Bhai and enmity. Not just enmity, bhai also. So these two kind of completely kept him busy in the thoughts of Lord. Right? So his absorption is real absorption. Right? But however, for us, and this is not an anukul bhav, this is not a conducive bhav, because one should not think that I will also start hating Krishna and I will also get this bhav. So, because hating Krishna is actually sinful. Vena did fall in hell. Vena fell in hell. In the next slokas, Yudhishthira Maharaj will be asking, why did Vena go to hell but Shishupal did not? So, Vena jo hai, he went to hell. Shishupal did not go to hell. Shishupal actually, he attained Sayuji Mukti. So why did, so therefore hating Krishna, hating Lord is actually sinful. It assures hellish existence. So we should not start hating Krishna. Or no one should start hating Krishna, because the possibility or probability of that hatred equaling Vena's hatred, or to be like Vena's hatred, is 100%, almost 100%. There is a very bleak possibility of someone's hating Krishna and is hating and being afraid of Krishna like Shishupal. Is very bleak, right? So this is why one is advised. See, even in when we are trying to practice bhakti as sadhak, we are having some bhav for Krishna. There are some anukul bhav, but even in this anukul bhav, as you can see, we are not absorbed. So how can you expect any absorption? How can we expect any absorption in the pratikul bhav, right? So one should not develop. This is highly criticized. Shishupal's case is special. Also, one more thing is being conveyed here throughout this chapter, that if such bhav of continuous absorption via hatred can lead to exalted position, then how much will the anukul bhav as love and absorption in the sweet pastimes of Lord, they will also they will also lead to they will actually lead to even more exalted. So that is the idea. In this way, if someone is, even a logic also we use, or in our daily conversation we also use. So suppose if we want to stress on something, then don't we start with the lower thing and we'll tell people that, hey, see, even the lower things are giving us so much advantage. How much advantage will you get if you stick to the higher process? So the take-home message is this only, that if Shishupal, through his absorption, could achieve such a position, then then how much one will get if one is absorbed in seva, anukul seva. That is the idea. Imitation is not our policy. That is number one message. Number two message is absorption. We have to be absorbed in Krishna seva. So that's what in the next upcoming shloka, Shukdev Goswami will be telling that even with calm, even with lust also, if someone contemplates on Krishna, then he will also achieve exalted bhav. So, so the gopis are absorbed in only Krishna seva. Whereas Kubja initially was not absorbed in Krishna seva. Mostly she was looking for her own gratification. But later on, by Lord's mercy, Preeti developed. And then she became absorbed in Krishna and Krishna seva. So all these bhavas are there. Absorption is the key, dear devotees. Veda is an exclusion. Veda does not qualify. So Veda fell in hell. So these impersonalists, the so-called Gyanis, their disposition towards Lord is also full of hatred and no absorption. And hatred means envying Lord. No personality in Lord. And Lord is like one of them who can also be subdued by Maya. These are all kind of symptoms of deep-rooted envy, and definitely not the absorption. Shishupal was absorbed in the form of Lord. Lord will kill me. Lord with his hands will kill me. But these guys, they are absorbed in something else, right? So therefore they go in a place which is even worse in hellish region. Brahman effulgence. So when the Shishupal went there, Sayuj Mukti. So here is what the impact is. This Sayuj Mukti, he did not merge in Brahman effulgence. He merged in Lord's body. Sayujya here means that he stayed with Lord for some time. And when Lord Krishna wrapped up his pastime, then in Lord's body there are all the incarnations. Narayana is also there, Vaikuntapati. So they all went to their respective Vaikuntha planets. Sriman Narayan went to Vaikuntha, and the Shishupal and Dantavakra, they also joined Vaikuntha to resume their real absorption. So here Sayuj Mukti, the term Sayuj Mukti should be understood very cautiously. It is said na here, Sayuj Mukti. Let me repeat it. Vasudeva Bhagavati Sayujyam tu bhujaha. Sayujyam. So Shishupal was Sayujyam. Shishupal was temporarily in the Lord's body. He got merged into impersonal Brahman. And when Lord wrapped up his pastime, he along with Narayan, they shifted to Vaikuntha. So this is very astonishing. This is ordered to impersonalists. Shishupal was not a he was very much a personalist, though he was absorbed in Pratikul Bhav, but he was absorbed. These impersonalists, these are impersonalists, they are apradhi, Mayavadi, Krishna Pradhi, Mayavadi. And so their absorption is not absorption in the real strictest sense. It is no less than a sin, higher than sin, aparadh. They are depriving Krishna of his personal beautiful features. Right? They are trying to kill Krishna. So as a result of that, they also, receive killing by actually merging into impersonal Brahman, which is abhorred by devotees. So these facts are there, more and more facts will come. Here one very interesting thing is that Yudhishthira Maharaj is always very, very eager to hear about more and more about Krishna. In Mahabharata it is told when Shishupal was abusing Lord in the assembly, actually those abuses, if you use the logic of Saraswati, those abuses were only glorification. Because Shishupal is an eternal associate of Lord. From his mouth only glorification will come. So he was calling Lord's various names, but all of them were actually glorification. So anyways, so he was glorifying and people were becoming very angry on him, including Bhishma Pitama. So Bhishma Pitama ji told Shishupal, do you know who he is? So Yudhishthira Maharaj ji, he became completely attracted by this statement of Bhishma Pitama. And he completely, ignored Shishupal and started asking Bhishma Pitama, even in that serious and grim situation, he started asking Bhishma Pitama, please tell me who he is and please tell me about his pastime. देखो यहाँ पे इतना गंभीर situation है and he is still asking Bhishma Pitama about the pastimes of the Lord. He is spontaneously is attracted to hearing more and more about Lord. And now when Shishupal is killed, and in front of everyone, everyone saw that Shishupal has merged into the body of Krishna, not in impersonal Brahman. So this completely, Maharaj Yudhishthira was completely astonished. Ati Adbhutam. And he wants to understand this through Narad Muniji this time. And Narad Muniji is Tattva Gyata, Tattvik, Tattvadarshi. Now he's telling about Lord's, the power of absorption in Lord's personality. That is the idea. Veda was full of criticism only. Criticism to the devotees and criticism to Vedic scriptures. Right? Actually, Veda, he got in touch with a fake imitator of Rishabdev. Rishabdev is Bhagwan only, but then in due course of time there came many imitators of Rishabdev, fake. So he influenced Veda, and Veda completely became, you know, indifferent or hostile to Vedic culture. And the essence of Vedic culture is Vishnu. So he became completely critical of Vishnu and the processes. And this is Pap. So therefore he went to hell. But his son Prithu Maharaj, who was born from his body, somehow delivered him. So, so the take-home message is, dear devotees, that we must understand that our goal is absorption in Krishna, not absorption in rules and regulations. Right? Vedic Bhakti is definitely Vedic Bhakti is. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ji is saying that Vedic Bhakti is also our Nitya Karma, in the sense that Vedic Bhakti is also not the result is same. Vedic Bhakti is Nitya Karma. It has eternal kind of results. Vedic Bhakti. But then Vedic Bhakti is just not Vedic Bhakti is our goal. Our goal is spontaneous absorption in Krishna's Seva. Spontaneous, continuous absorption in Krishna's Seva. Anukul. Seva means Anukul, wherein we think of pleasure of Krishna and his devotees. The thing is, if one thinks of the pleasure of Krishna's devotees, that time only the bhakti starts becoming spontaneous. And because devotees, they represent Seva of Krishna. Otherwise, the situation will become like of Kubja. Gopis, they are interested in Seva of Krishna. That is something which I should not speak on much. So therefore, our motto should be absorption in Seva of Krishna. Then our human life will be a successful life. Hare Krishna, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for stressing on the purpose of why the bhakti, why we have to do, we have to concentrate on that. Yeah. If anyone is having any questions regarding today's class, they can raise the hand and ask His Grace Srikant Prabhuji. Yes, Govind Maharaj, please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj ji, Dandvat Pranam.
Namrat Pranam. Um, sweet class was getting sweeter, and I was waiting for the sweetest, and it just came to a quick conclusion. That was beautiful.
Hare Krishna.
Couple of points as far as this absorption is concerned. That Siddhanta, could you look into 11, 9, 22 and 23? Can we relate that example in Siddhanta and
11,
throw some
9.
light? 22 and 23, they are together. Very specific Siddhanta. And one thing I want to, because he was not afraid of Krishna, Shishupal. He was very envious. Because if somebody is afraid of somebody, then he will run away from. But he was. The beautiful thing about Krishna is that everybody came to be killed by him. In other forms of God, God had to go somewhere, to kill the demons. Lord Ramchandra went, Narasimhadev went, but in case of Krishna, as if demons are just coming on their own accord. They are so attracted to Krishna, even out of envy. And, they don't fear. Dantavakra didn't fear Krishna. Shishupal didn't fear Krishna. Rather, they dare to just think Krishna is just idiot, or they were the biggest idiot. So in that Siddhanta, can you incorporate and the example given which we often study?
The same example will be coming in up very, very soon in upcoming
same
shlokas.
example?
Yeah, the bee
Yeah.
being trapped in upcoming very. So I thought I must not
Yeah,
speak more on that, otherwise it will. Did
Okay,
not
okay.
like to snatch the juice.
Okay. Okay, so 2 places in Bhagavatam. I knew 2 places, I didn't know exactly. So now it's in 7th canto, 11th canto.
Yeah, very soon. Narad Muniji only will be giving the same example and the same Siddhanta that even if hatred or love or calm,
Yes.
generally calm is also, lust is also considered sinful. But Narad Muni will be saying that if even with love, lust also, if someone gets close to absorption in Lord, then somehow he will also get the exalted position. And his exalted position does definitely not mean merging into impersonal Brahman, because it is
Yeah,
not
because
exalted.
yes. Actually, those who are dealing with the Lord in any, they don't get Sahyajya Mukti or merging in the impersonal. They attain the association of the Lord. So it's amazing what you described, that Shishupal got the association of the original form of God. Because as long as Krishna remained manifest, all the forms of God, Krishna, Narayan and all that, they were in Krishna's form. And so that was special mercy that he got to associate with the form of Lord Krishna, all attractive. Very beautiful rendition. And this Siddhanta which he brought, that Mayavadis, they are unfortunate, and that's why they don't get anything to do with the Lord. So they remain just outside the Brahman effulgence with no connection in thought or anything. That was very beautifully described. Still, my question is, because we are supposed to ask the questions, that in this, as Narad Muni also would say that he would describe that they are more fortunate, Shishupal, than the bhaktas.
Yes.
What is the reason? Means, and you said the bhaktas are positively disposed towards the Lord, so they should have greater fortune waiting for them than
Yes.
the so-called great fortune of Shishupal. So why Narad Muni is making that comment? I think they are getting more mercy than the bhaktas.
Yeah, here Narad Muni is actually trying to present a Siddhant. The Siddhant is that absorption in Lord is the key. Lord Seva is the key. In one way, actually, Narad Muniji is glorifying the absorption in Lord in the conducive way only, giving this example of Shishupal who was apparently not absorbed through the conducive way, in a repelling way rather. And when Narad Muniji says that Shishupal is more exalted than Bhakta, here Bhakta would mean Sadhak Bhakta, more involved in Vaidhi Bhakti, because generally it is seen that absorption with a bhav of enmity is very quick, very instantaneous, and one can keep thinking of his enemy for it's very quickly. I mean, one does not have to do any sadhana or Vaidhi thing, rules and regulation to generate some kind of hostility and meditate on that person in that bhav. So Narad Muni is saying that Shishupal case is more glorious because his bhav, that enmity bhav, his absorption was quick, instantaneous, spontaneous, unlike the absorption of these practicing devotees, because their absorption is actually mostly, in the case of practicing devotees, the absorption is hijacked by so many austerities and rules and regulations. It is not spontaneous. Our absorption is not spontaneous. But we should not conclude that these devotees who have generated bhav for Lord in a conducive way, wherein they treat Krishna as their son or as their lover or as their friend, it is Shishupal case is even more glorious than that. I think that is not a conclusion. Uh, Therefore, actually, Narad Muniji is saying, Narad Muniji's inherent idea is that if Shishupal could get it, then why? How much will these devotees get? How much more? That's why in the case of Putna also, if Putna could get this much mercy, then would how much more exalted is the position of Mata Yashoda? So, and also the mercy of Lord. If mercy of the Lord also falls on someone, that mercy, the supremacy of that mercy, the exalted position of mercy is also being conveyed by the words of Narad Muni. And one more thing is being conveyed by the Narad Muni, the very purpose of this chapter, impartiality in Lord. When he wants to give his mercy, it is impartial. Hare Krishna. Sachin.
Beautiful, beautiful. Just one point when the Nadmuni is glorifying the absorption, correct?
Yes.
And so the message he's relating that even to bhaktas, that unless you find your absorption, that's why Rupa Goswami describes that the Swarupa Bhakti is in Bhava. So until one touches the Bhava or beginning, that Asakti, Asakti is the beginning of Bhava. It is not even called Bhakti because as you said that because without before that the absorption won't be in the Supreme. Absorption will be in so many rules, regulations. So that's a very beautiful point. And that's why all our acharyas also pray that it is so difficult. It is so difficult to constantly remember you lovingly, your lotus feet. So please bless us. They are craving and crying, although they are absorbed, but for our sake, they are scribing that we must crave for being able to remember lovingly the lotus feet of the Lord. Seva. Thank you, Lord. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Maharaji, thank you very much. One more thing, one should not think that if I'm doing seva only all the time, if I'm only speaking scientific presentation, where am I thinking about Krishna? So one should not think that if I'm doing scientific presentations, or for that matter, any service, these services are hijacking my absorption in Krishna. Someone may say, but actually, the idea is that when we say absorption, it actually means absorption in loving devotional service, to Krishna. So these presentation, scientific presentation, cooking for Lord, cleaning the temple, these are actually absorption in seva, and hence even more greater than absorption in Krishna. They are very much having embedded in themselves absorption in Krishna.
And that is perceived, thinking that the spiritual master will be pleased.
Yes.
Because there's a direct perception. Whether
Direct.
Krishna becomes pleased or not, it is beyond us. Unless Krishna shows up, hey, I'm really pleased with you. But that role is done by the spiritual master and his associates. When they become pleased, it guarantees that Krishna is pleased.
Yes.
So
Yes,
it
Maharaj.
is non-different. So one doesn't have to think of whether Krishna is I'm doing scientific preaching or anything. Guru Maharaj is pleased because he has ordered, he has asked, he has trained all of you, you know.
Yes.
So that thinking of Guru Maharaj's satisfaction guarantees Krishna's satisfaction.
Yes,
That should be
Maharaj.
the thought.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharajji, and thank you, Srikant Prabhuji, for this wonderful discussion. Yeah, if anyone else is having any further question, if so, please come forward. Yes, Prabhuji, maybe we can conclude for the day as there are no further questions.
Okay, may I request our Maharaji, His Holiness Prajapati Maharaji, to otherwise we'll conclude.
I'm surprised there is no more question.
Okay, so I think we should conclude now, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
The Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Patit
Jai.
Pavan Shripad Maharaj ki jai,
Jai.
Jai, jai, jai.
Ananta Koti Vishnu Vrinda ki jai.
His Grace Srikant Prabhu ki jai. Thank you all
Jai,
for
jai,
joining.
jai.
See you all in tomorrow's class, 7:30 a.m.
Sorry.
Hare Krishna.